Falcons lose 24-23, the 8th time in a row they've lost to the New England Patriots. Haven't beaten them since 1998.
Whatever.
None of that really matters.
No, it doesn't.
What does matter is this is not what a rebuild is supposed to look like, and nobody can fix anything. A rebuild is supposed to look like what they're doing in Denver. Get a new coach, get a new quarterback, and things turn around. A rebuild is supposed to look like what's going on in Detroit. Get a new coach, get a new setup with your defense, and you build a culture. Rebuild looks like what's going on in Chicago. Get a new coach, get a quarterback and some weapons. All of a sudden, games you would lose, you're winning. None of that going on with the Falcons. And so we don't look like the other teams that started over when we did.
Which ones you gave us? You gave me Denver. You gave me Chicago. Who was the third one?
Detroit.
Okay, Detroit. Rebuild is now the only thing they have left is to make it to the Super Bowl and potentially win. Chicago, and I watched a lot of that game yesterday. What a crazy ending. You know what's happened there? They drafted a quarterback, number 1, and they said, you know what? Let's build around said quarterback that we believe in. We're going to go get him a great offensive mind in Ben Johnson, and we're going to put weapons around him. And lo and behold, it's working. In Denver, they ate $80 million of dead cap money with Russell Wilson, and they said, we're going to give Sean Payton a quarterback in Bo Nix, and we're going to put a defense out there, and they find ways to win. Now, are the Broncos great? I don't know, but I think they've won, 6 in a row now? 7 in a row?
They win scrappy games.
They fight, they scratch, they claw. They walk off yesterday with a field goal at the buzzer to win on the road against Houston. What are we doing in year number 2? Spinning our tires, making excuses, rambling and mumbling through coach speak interviews, and we don't look any better than we did with Arthur Smith. We don't look any better than we did at the end of the Dan Quinn era. The only thing we've done now is stock up a bunch of draft choices that, guess what, are now getting ready to get into contract situations with Drake London and Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts comes up this year. Well, you may lose some of these young assets that you have, yet you're not any better.
You're going to lose them. You're 100% going to lose them. Like if I'm Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Oh, Drake is upset.
I pray to God that the Falcons don't re-sign me so I can go play for a winning organization, right? You have a chance to go win. Those guys have not tasted winning as a franchise and a team, like winning seasons.
We're coming up on 8 years when we, as a fan base.
So now you're talking about guys that are 3, 4, 5 years into their careers and coming up on their second contracts. Big-time dudes that can play. Like, what are the Falcons going to do? Franchise tag him and hold him hostage and keep him here? Or you just let him go?
You can't just let Drake London go. Everything he's doing. No.
What are you going to do with Drake London?
Well, Kyle Pitts is another conversation for me. He's just not a factor at all. At least every now and then when you have some protection and have a good game by Michael Penix, it is demonstrated repeatedly that Drake London can be as effective as any wide receiver in the league.
We're going to pay him $1 gazillion to stick around here?
Or you might have some more when your other gazillion dollar guy, Kirk Cousins, is gone. You got a $180 million quarterback on the bench. A lot of this comes down to the offense and the lack thereof. Zach Robinson in the offense, 1 for 10 on third downs.
Excuse me?
That impacts the running game, which has gone away. Raheem Morris has talked about getting the ball to Bijan Robinson. Coach, what happened with the running game yesterday?
You know, obviously you got to find a way to win every single game. You know, this team is extraordinarily good on the run game, and we had to find a way to win this game. We knew it would come with some quick passing games. We knew it would come some targets to Bijan, whether it was getting the ball quick, letting him run the football out the backfield. But you know, obviously we knew it would be tough selling trying to run the football versus this team, and it was. And we found a way to get into the end zone, and that's our job. That's our requirement each and every week.
How about down 1? When you get the ball to midfield on first down, you actually try to run the ball. You know, midfield, and this was before the intentional grounding on second down, you just abandon the run. All you got to do is gain, for Parker Roma, you probably had to gain 45 of the 50 yards to make it a makeable field goal and go win the football game. But you were so afraid, and I can hear that defeated attitude. I know against this team it's going to be tough to run the ball. I get it. The Patriots hadn't given up a 50-yard rusher all day. You have arguably the best running back in the damn game. The game's on the line. You throw a terrible screen pass that was going to go nowhere, and then you get an intentional grounding, and then you try to blame them for clapping. You know what losers do? They blame other people for your failures.
Did anybody see the clap or see or hear?
I didn't see.
Who was clapping? What is he talking about? And who claps in the NFL?
It was Kirby Smart was clapping.
Man, nobody heard it. That's exactly
Well, they
right.
did call a timeout late in the game, and they weren't giving it back. It cost you kind of at the end. Here is Raheem Morris. Part of the problem yesterday, you couldn't convert on third downs. 1 for 10 on third downs. Coach, what happened on the third down conversions?
Got to find a way to move the chains on third down and maintain possessions, and we got to find a way to get off the grass. It was part of the keys to victory today. We're not able to do that. We did get 2 turnovers to combat that, to allow us to have an opportunity to try to win that game, and we just came up short.
How much longer do we have to deal with this?
I don't know.
I'm starting to think you might as well ride it out because
Ride it out for how long? This year?
yeah, he's out of here.
Okay, this year.
Yeah,
fine.
because if you fire Zach Robinson, then you have somebody else on the staff who's never called a play. How does that help the offense for Michael Penix Jr.? If you fire Raheem Morris, all right, put Jeff Ulbrich in charge, and then what? I mean, none of this is going anywhere. Nothing you do matters.
Hudson Mason was texting. He was busy this weekend watching the Falcons and kind of talking about his frustrations as well. Sent a nice video about 2 minutes long. I don't know how people talk to the phone that long, but he does it, and I enjoy it. And he talked about some of the stuff that was going on. And when Raheem got hired, and then referred to when Arthur Smith got hired here, who was his defensive coordinator?
Dean Pease.
When Sean McVay got hired, who was his defensive coordinator?
Was it Raheem Morris?
Wade Phillips.
Oh, Wade Phillips. Okay.
You don't hire guys as a head coach, first-time head coach, as first-time offensive and defensive coordinators.
Right.
It just was the strangest thing. Guys, you brought a guy in from college that got fired after his first year.
Right.
Right? What was the guy's name?
Jimmy Lake.
Jimmy Lake. Your buddy. Good old boy. Come on in. We got you, Jimmy Lake. You can be our defensive coordinator, although you've never called plays in the NFL before where a franchise is worth $4 billion, but we want you to come call defensive plays for us, and you've never done it, ever. And then we're going to bring in Zach Robinson, who spent 4.5 years, 5 years in the NFL total, a couple as like an analyst.
Wasn't he a pro football focus writer?
And then because he worked with you in L.A. with the Rams and we're good friends and I like you, and you worked with Sean McVay, you should be able to call plays like Sean McVay. Well, that hasn't worked out at all because you don't know how to do it.
No, and it gets worse week after week. And he tried stuff yesterday. I saw Bijan Robinson flanked out way to the right. You know, you try all. We're the only team, by the way, that runs motion that does nothing to fool a defense. Nothing.
I'm telling you, when we had a false start, we had the weird snap, we had a lot of stuff go on with motions in like a 2-minute drive. Like you have to score points, and you got all these moving parts. And your quarterback standing back there moving guys and shifting guys and play clock's coming down and there's a penalty and then you get to the line of scrimmage and guys are motioning and the quarterback doesn't realize and he's clapping his hands and you got to call a timeout, which you could have used later in the game. The whole thing is really is not good. You knew that timeout was come back and get you. You just knew it.
Turnoff tweeted it right when it happened.
Right when it happened.
He goes, there's a timeout the Falcons surely won't need later on in the game.
Exactly right. And you did.
Your offense
and you
is
shouldn't
sputtering. You haven't scored. You've only scored 25 points one time. One time, and that was when you put up 34 against the Commanders with their backup quarterback. This offense is not working. Zach Robinson is not working. Raheem Morris is correcting and fixing nothing. They're not going anywhere. They can't fix problems, and this is going to continue. Now, you go to Germany to play another one of the best teams in the league. We have the Colts for a breakfast either satisfying or spoiling game next Sunday when we'll be watching football early in the morning.
As this thing unravels, is there any confidence that they will blow it up again?
Well, you got to now.
No, they don't.
I don't
They don't have to. I mean, most coaches are going to get 3 or 4 years. I mean, even Arthur Smith, and it was terrible with him, got almost 3 full years. I don't know that Mr. Blank is going to blow it up. And this is where I keep saying there's an organizational issue. They don't have the gumption to make the moves that need to be done. They don't have the gumption when they go out and do these coaching searches to actually hire somebody that's going to put you in position to win. Mike Vrabel could have been here. They interviewed him. Ben Johnson could have been here. They interviewed him.
Mike McDonald
could have been here. You know what we did? We went with the guy that we knew. Oh, Raheem's been in the building before. He'll fix it. Yeah, he'll fix us to be in the same. We're on our way to 8 straight years of losing seasons. You got to be a special kind of idiot And I'm going to take off the first 2 letters of that. A special kind of itty to have 8 straight losing seasons in the NFL.
It's pretty fair. Everybody gets the same salary cap, same number of draft picks. You can pick from the same pool of coaches. You can pick from the same pool of coordinators. Everybody has the same. Why is this franchise now stumbling and bumbling again?
My wife said it to me. We were on our way to church, and last night went to 5 o'clock mass with the grandkids and everybody else. It was very nice. I had to get some stuff off my chest, talk to Jesus, and just do the whole thing.
Down the hall.
Thank you. And I did it, and we were driving to mass, and Aaron had said something earlier today about backups. Like, how do you have a 16-man practice squad and not have a legitimate kicker as a backup kicker to Young Wei Koo?
You need to ask Terry Fontenot. He's the one that picks the kickers. He's the one that picks all the players.
Have a 16-man practice squad and not have a linebacker that looks like he belongs in the NFL on your practice squad?
You need to ask Terry Fontenot, because Divine Diablo should not completely change your defense. Should be 2 or 3 linebackers for backup and special teams.
I'll say it again, and I'm sorry I don't have his name right in front of me. Fred Warner goes out of the game against
Tatum
us.
Bethune is his name.
Tatum Bethune.
7th round pick.
Tatum Bethune, 7th round pick comes up, an absolute tackling machine, and they didn't miss a beat and beat our ass 20-10 or whatever it was.
You're not beating anybody. You're not coaching up anybody. You're not winning games. It's not fun to watch, and people are tired.